Hello guys and welcome to another YouTube video by me, and this is going to be one of those vloggy style videos where I talk a little bit about how to prepare for chess tournaments. So one of my viewers today asked me, and I thought this would be awesome YouTube content, so if you guys actually haven't subscribed, make sure you are doing that. I would really appreciate it. Alright, so let's get into it. What does it take to play an over-the-board tournament? First of all, you have to, pick a tournament that kind of fits you, as well as fits perhaps your rating category. If you're somebody who is potentially a little bit newer to chess, you might want to play a tournament that has a lower rated category group, or perhaps a more local open tournament where they're not as strong chess players, because then you'll get, a little bit more comfortable experience. Of course, if you want to go challenge the great grandmasters, you can also play one of the big open tournaments, which will hopefully open up in 2022 after COVID, like Reykjavik Open or Gibraltar Open, Capella Grand, just to name a few really big open tournaments in Europe. And in North America, there's usually open tournaments in New York, Washington, Las Vegas, a lot of tournaments all over. So picking the correct tournament for you might be quite important if you're looking to stay motivated or if you just want to experience. There's a lot of different options. Now, what does it actually mean to, prepare for a tournament? Like, what do you have to do? For players who are a little bit more experienced, like myself, it doesn't really matter which tournament I play in. I usually prepare a set of openings that I know I'm going to use in the tournament. And on top of that, before the tournament, at least for about 2 weeks, I kind of put a lot of effort into studying tactics and doing tactics and making sure my brain is quite sharp. I do know that a lot of people have obviously work, school, all these life things that impact their ability to put in a lot of time for chess. But if you're trying to have a decent performance, trying to get the most worth for your money that you're probably investing in playing this tournament, then I would actually highly recommend just spending a little bit of time doing tactics and learning strategy and just being really sharp and playing games as well before the tournament to make sure when you enter the tournament, you're in tip-top form. At the same time, I think it's really important to not overdo it and make sure you're not burnt out on chess before you even enter the tournament. So it is definitely a little bit of a fine balance. Now, I've also been asked, what does it mean to actually prepare openings or do all these kind of things? So you can prepare openings a number of different ways. You can watch YouTube videos, you can look at chess games, you can go look at the most recent tournaments and see what the great super grandmasters are playing, which is common times the Bongcloud. So I'm not so sure about that one. You might want to consider skipping the Bongcloud. Everything else, though, is more or less on the table, even if you play the Grob, honestly, who knows. However, I do highly recommend having a specific set of openings that you can look over really quickly. So one way to do this is have a PGN file that you can upload onto chess.com, where you can use their functions in order to just quickly look over the lines that you've already analyzed before, so you don't have to go through the engine or the Opening Explorer book or look through games specifically to find that you already have everything compiled in one place. Now, if you're a more ambitious chess player, if you really, really, really want your openings in one place, I would recommend ChessBase. And you can actually use ChessBase to compile a lot of openings, and all of these are kind of inside one software, so it's a little bit more convenient to open each individual opening. You can name them and everything. It's a bit like a database, right? So that is also an option. Of course, it depends on your level in chess, how dedicated you are, where do you want to be. But these are the most general ways you can prepare openings. At least that's what I've done. Now, if super grandmasters are doing something different, what they're probably doing is running Leela or some really, really strong engine in the background to check through all of these openings. But hey, look, if you're, 1600 getting into your first tournament over the board, you probably don't need that. Let's just put it that way. You're probably okay with playing whatever you've prepared from, or whatever you found from online, or some of your games, or some of your favorite players' games. So that's definitely something you can consider. Now, about maybe the logistics of preparing for a tournament. Like, what does it feel like to play a tournament? I'm actually not 100% sure what's going to be like after the pandemic, to be honest. I don't know, maybe they'll change things, but when I play tournaments, I would actually have to do things outside of just preparing my chess. I would have to make sure I'm physically in pretty decent shape, because chess tournaments over the board can last a week. Sometimes they last only 2 days if they're like a weekend tournament. I'm pretty sure there's even like 1 day tournaments out there, but the bigger tournaments are usually a week, 5 days, or if you're playing really big open tournaments like Reykjavik Open or Gibraltar, they're 2 weeks. So you do have to have pretty good stamina to play them, because each game lasts perhaps up to 5 or 6 hours. And if you're not able to necessarily play that, then yeah, good luck. You don't really get a pause option. And yeah, you kind of need to get a good stamina for those kind of events. So make sure you're in pretty good physical form. Also, usually carry your own chessboard and clock to tournaments is highly advisable. There are definitely tournaments that provide them, mostly in Europe. In North America, sometimes they provide them, sometimes they don't. It's really up to each individual tournament, so you just have to figure that out. But I also do recommend the board, because it's really helpful to play over the opening on the board, like with your hand, and like seeing the visualization of it. It's quite different from online chess, so I do recommend that aspect of it too. All these things being said, I do wish you best of luck for your first tournament. And if you have any additional questions about tournaments, feel free to drop it in the comment section below and click the like button. Thank you. And I'm sorry for the WhatsApp pings going on in the background. I forgot to turn that off.